Hey guys, Nick from KN Tech, welcome back. Well, that's Christmas done and dusted for another year. Hope you guys managed to get together with the family where you've been allowed to, depending on where you are in the world and what restrictions you have based on who you can see. We're here in the southeast of England and we didn't really have much of an opportunity to get together with people because we had to stay inside and not meet up with family members. So that involved a quick dash on Christmas Eve, running around, trying to dish out some cards and some gifts to some people and stand at the door and wish them a Merry Christmas. Hey ho, let's hope 2021 is going to be a slightly better year. So this video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be doing almost a kind of an unboxing and a kind of review of a couple of the gifts that I was given for Christmas. Stick around guys, we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so I was given a few things for Christmas from my wife. A couple of the things I was given revolve around my cameras and my setup, and hopefully they're going to make life a little bit easier. So let's get stuck into it guys, and we'll see how things work out. So the first thing I'm going to kind of open up and show you what it looks like is this. This is a small arm, very similar to the ones that the guys use when they're streaming on Twitch and other platforms. And most people, you'll see this being used for holding their mic close to their mouth. This is actually a small lightweight arm, and the idea of this is basically that you can mount a camera on it and you can move the camera around so you can get different angles and different positions for the camera so that it's going to work out a little bit better for what it is that you want to use it for. I'm going to be using this primarily for my webcam on my work machine, which is the one you can see over my left shoulder here. And this is going to help me get slightly better video quality when I'm having video calls for my clients on my day-to-day work. So let's open it up and we'll see what we get inside. So first we have the arm. This is just very similar, like I said, to a microphone arm that most streamers use. This is a very lightweight arm though. It's got a weight capacity, I think, of about 3 pounds, which is about 1.5 kilos for those of you that use metric. And again, it's very similar. It opens up and you can move the mic around. It's got a swivel top on here, and it has a standard camera mount, tripod mount, which you can see right here. It also comes with a swivel ball head, which is really handy if you don't want to go straight up. We can use this to adjust the angle of the camera that we're going to use, and we can make it maybe even if you want to use it for a top-down camera if you're working on something on your desk kind of thing. Also comes with a standard little phone mount, which you can see right here. This is the kind of one that's on the spring. It just kind of opens and closes and will help mount your phone if you're going to use your phone as a webcam, which is a really good way of using something you already have as a really high definition, high quality camera for streaming if you're going to use that, or maybe even making YouTube videos. Okay, so I'm going to quickly hook it up on this little desk I've got set up right here, and then we can see how it works. Okay, so I've got it set up on the little desk that I'm going to be using here for the opening and unboxing of the things that I'm going to be looking at today. And we can see it's very similar to what you guys have seen all the time when you watch people stream and other YouTube videos where they normally have a mic here, so they would bring it over quite close to their mouth so they get the microphone here. So in this case we're using it for a camera, and we can see that again, we can see I've actually got the little clip mount there for the phone on there, which people can use. You can also mount a regular camera on here, because I say it's got the standard tripod screw thread on the bottom of it. And again, we can see that little adjustable ball here. So if you wanted to actually maybe do a top down, you could simply adjust that. And then before you know it, there you go, you've got a little top down camera if you're going to do some work underneath on the desk like that. So that's going to be useful for me. It's going to sit behind my monitors that you can see over my left shoulder, and it's going to extend out over the top of my monitors so I can actually get the camera a little bit closer to me when I'm actually doing my video calls for my day-to-day work for my clients. Okay, so the next thing we're going to have a look at is something called it's called the Ulanzi Fast Claw, and this is basically a quick release mount for tripods. Basically anything you can put on a tripod, you can use this in between. And you can use it as a quick release so that you can switch things over and swap things out on the top of your tripod without having to worry about unscrewing it, and also using the different proprietary type heads that are on different types of tripods. So let's go ahead and have a quick look at this real quick. It's very, very small, and I got a couple of them, and I'm probably sure that at some point I'm going to expand it and have more than a couple, because 2 is super useful to begin with, but obviously having a couple more of these to be able to put them on more of your mounts and more of your devices is going to make life a little easier. They're really small, super compact, and it's simply a case of you basically pinch these two right here, and they lift and it comes up and it goes together like that. It's super simple. So like I say, I have a couple of them, and the way it works is you would mount the top part onto the bottom of your camera. So this would mount, and let's have a look at that phone mount I showed you earlier. So this would mount simply onto the phone mount, like so. And then that's ready to clip onto whatever you attach this to. And the bottom part would then go onto the top of a tripod or the top of any kind of mount. I mean, for example, we could even put that on the top of this, for example, like so. And then when you want to mount this, it's simply a case of just clipping it on, and it's done like that. The beauty of these is it's got the standard tripod mount threads in both the top and the bottom, which means anything that you would expect to mount on a tripod, you can utilize these for. And just to give you an idea, I've actually got a couple of tripods and a couple of devices over here, so we can see how these are going to work out. So this is a standard tripod, very similar to the one that I've actually got my camera on right now. And it has a standard usual tripod, and this has the tripod quick release built into it. Now, of course, this is great as long as you've got the same tripod and you've got multiple tripods, then you can swap these over. But if you don't, if you have different tripods and they're different manufacturers, of course, they're all going to have their own proprietary quick release on the top of them. And that's where these things come in super useful. So I'm going to pop the bottom of this onto my tripod base plate. Super quick, literally just a case if you screw it on at the back like you would do normally. And I'm going to pop that onto my tripod. And then my phone mount, which I'm going to stick on the bottom, I'm going to put the other half of it, my phone mount, like this right here. This just simply clips on, and there we go. That's on there straight away. The good thing about this is anything else that's got the standard mount for tripods you can use. So sometimes I use these little lights. These are little LED lights which I use if I want to light something up quite intensely, because the light is really quite bright, and I'll show you just real quick. I'll turn it down so I don't blind the camera. But if I want to light something up like this, I use these very occasionally, every once in a while. And the beauty of this is I can simply take the top off of one of these, and you'll see this has the standard tripod mount on the bottom right here. So what I'll do is I'll attach this to the bottom of this light. I mean, this is almost like a key light. You could use this if you're familiar with lighting. You can use this as a key light to light somebody up. And the beauty of this is that I can take this tripod like this, and I can simply remove that, pop this guy on top, and there we go. We have a light which we can move, and we can turn on and off, and we can light things up just like that. So like I say, these are going to be super useful, and I've started off with a couple of them. I'm probably going to end up with a few more. Just to also let you guys know, this is a light which I use for, this is a tripod which I use for my lighting. It's very, very similar in terms of it's got the same thread on the top, but it's a slightly different configuration. And just to let you guys know, this actually will fit quite nicely on top of there like that. So I can then use that to either mount a camera on, like so, or if I want a quick swap out and put a light on it, it's super quick and simple, and it goes on like that. Like I say, these are really good quality because, you know, like a lot of things you can get off of Amazon, these aren't plastic, these are metal. So these are going to last a long time. These are aluminium, and they click together really nicely, and they're super solid and they're super sturdy. So looking forward to using these. This is going to hopefully make life a little bit easier for me. All right, let's go on to the next one. Okay guys, so the next thing we're going to look at is a camera holder, and you'll be noticing a theme that a lot of these items revolve around me and cameras and videos. So the next thing we're going to look at is a camera mount, which gives me a bit more flexibility. It could be used in the office, but it's more for if I go out and about, if I attend any kind of shows or things like that. It's going to mean I'm going to be able to take my camera equipment and actually have a setup that's going to work a little bit better for me. So this is called the Mrig smartphone filmmaking cage. It says smartphone, but depending on the camera you have and the size of the camera, it's actually going to fit a standard DSLR camera as well. So I'm currently using the Canon EOS M6 Mark II, and I've double checked and made sure that that actually fits inside this cage. So when you open it up, you get a cage and you get a couple of little accessories. So there is the inside of the box, and we'll have a quick look at the accessories. So first off, you get, hey guess, look at that, another phone mount. Awesome. You can never have too many of these guys, to be honest. This one's a little bit different because it's actually a screw thread as opposed to sprung loaded. So this would probably, I feel, hold your phone a little bit more securely because you can actually wind it up and tighten it real nice and snug onto your phone. You also get a GoPro mount if you want to use that. If you wanted to use your GoPro in this little rig holder, you could do that. But the main part is actually this this aluminium, and it's pretty solid. It's quite sturdy, and it's not too heavy either, because obviously being aluminium, it's not real heavy. But this is the actual cage which we're going to be looking at. So let me just get rid of that box over there. So again, very similar to all of the other items that you've seen me open up and talk about here. This is again revolving around me making films and trying to make my life a little bit easier. So what we have here is we have we have some standard mounts on the bottom, which we can see are going to mount to the top of a tripod. It also has a couple of handles on the side, so you can kind of do this in a vlogging style if you want to film yourself like this, or if you're going to be shooting ahead of you, you can do it. You can put it like this. And again, it's very, very similar to. There are others around there that this is very similar to, but I kind of like this because it's reasonably cheap and also it's nice and sturdy. So let's have a look how this would actually work. So if, for example, I was going to be using my smartphone would attach right here in the bottom, and it has little screws, which means you can screw that on like so, and I would be able to put my smartphone in there and use that as a camera, like so. Okay, so that's basically the beginning mount. And like I said, it has a standard mount on the bottom, which means you can put it onto a tripod, or you can put it onto maybe the arm we looked at earlier. You could attach that to the bottom of the arm, so you could have that like that. And it also has a number of mounts on the top, which is really useful. So right up here you can see we have two standard tripod mount screws. So you could mount things like lights or a microphone or something like that on there. We also have 3 cold shoes right on here. So for example, if you do have something like a microphone, and I have one attached to my camera right now, it's a shotgun mic. You can actually swip that off and you could attach it on here, so it's not going to be getting in the way of your actual camera itself. So we had a look at the light earlier on, which I use, and I have a mount on with me, which I can actually convert this into a cold shoe. So I'm just going to go ahead and screw that on there, just to show you how you can utilize those cold shoe mounts up on the top of that, that filming rig which we're looking at. So here we have the rig, and here we have the cold shoe mounts. So this is the cold shoe fitting. You literally pop it in there, screw the thread down, and then hey presto, you have a lighting rig to go with your camera. And again, don't forget, you could actually have 2 here, so you could actually have them coming up at the sides with your boom mic or your shotgun mic on the top here. There's many ways you could do this. Hey, there's nothing even stopping you from having it mounted this way, because again, there's threads on the sides as well. So you can see in here we have the threads that you can mount that on the top of a tripod. So yeah, it kind of gives you a bit more versatility if you want to do some filming out and about, and also if you want to have various different setups for your. I mean, this could even attach onto the top of that arm that we just looked at here earlier on. So I'm just not going to put it on all the way, obviously, and the weight's going to make it a little bit different, a little bit heavier. But once you've got this set up, and once you've got that on there like this, and you just need to adjust these a little bit, and then hey, and before you know it, you've got a boom mic, a boom arm with a camera and a light that's going to point right at you. So there you have it, guys. That's just a few of the things that I was given for Christmas. And as you can see, most of them revolve around me making videos and hopefully trying to make my life a little bit easier. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you found it useful. I hope it's given you a little bit of insight. If any of you are thinking about getting into making videos, maybe it's given you an idea about some of the equipment that you can get hold of that's reasonably priced, that's going to help make life a little bit easier for you. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one.